Hey, welcome back to Change the Odds, the podcast for marriage and family. We're never meant to be a game of chance. Here we are. We're reunited.
We are.
Yay!
Where have y'all been?
Here united, and it feels so good.
There we go. I wish I could sing. I mean, I'm not saying you can, but you have the courage at least to do it.
No one has ever told me I could.
You know how much I would sing if I actually could? Because I think song lyrics all the time.
You have a good memory.
Yes, but a horrible voice.
And rhythm. Where's your rhythm at?
None.
Yeah,
I mean, does that really look at me?
I know. I was
surprised. I suppose.
It was surprising to me that you would want to sing.
Yeah, I know. I think every preacher wants to be a singer and every singer wants to be a preacher.
Really?
Yeah, because I think we get jealous of each other. So I create new material every single week. These jokers get up on stage and sing something somebody else wrote, except our people write their own. But yeah, and then they're like, oh my goodness, did you hear that song? I'm like, yeah, they've sung it a million times. That joke I'd never done before in my life.
Right. But you do get to read the same book every week.
That's true. He's working Andrew Stanley's jokes now.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
I like that one.
Okay, so it's the big deal, my friends. Blaine and Adrienne, 100th episode.
Wow.
Here we are. Most podcasts never make it to here.
Really?
No.
What's the statistics?
Like 10. Most podcasts go 10.
10 and done.
Yeah, because they have a good idea, and then this is work. I don't know. I don't know if people.
This is leisure to me. This is fun.
But it's actually pushing past
which makes sense.
The lull. Well, and to grow it takes a lot of work.
And we've thought about that too, where it's just like we have something here. Marriage is forever. Like you can keep working on your marriage here, and the content is never ending. But if you have one idea, and let's do a podcast, and you share your idea and it's over.
It's out. It's out. What do you got?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's why I always thought the very first book contract I got was a 2-book contract on marriage. And I thought that's so confusing to me because what they're basically saying is that first book, don't tell us everything.
Right.
This is all I got. Right. And so of course now.
Look at you now.
Now it continues.
Books
now Jenny's like, could you just take some time off? We got back. I can't remember where we were. We were at, I spoke somewhere. And we get back in the car, and I think I'd done 4 or 5 sessions, and Jenny, is diligently sitting there pretending like she's never heard any of this.
Right.
And we get in the car, and the first thing she says to me is words. So many words.
That's so many words.
That's exactly right.
I can see.
And because then she gets none on the drive home because I say absolutely nothing.
You're not. You're done. You're fully exhausted.
I'm done.
Yeah.
As an introvert, I only have so many words.
Would she chat? And she enjoys the quiet though too.
Oh yeah, no, she's good with that.
So is that drive just quiet?
Sometimes it can be, and she can get to work and those kind of things. It depends. Like if we go on a drive, we'll chat for a while, and then she'll get to work, and I'll listen to a podcast or something for an hour,
music,
and then we'll come
you're
back
singing, or is this
no music? No, I don't. So get this. This is sad. Y'all can judge me on this.
Well, we do.
There's only one person I sing in front of, and that's Ella.
Oh, that's sweet.
And so Ella's absolute favorite thing is to be in the car with me, and she's in charge of the playlist, and then we sing along. Matter of fact, it irritates her when Jenny's in the car, and Ella will say, Mom, if you weren't here right now,
Dad would be singing.
Dad and I would be having a great time.
I feel like you have a low, baritone. Do you sing low?
Oh, I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, okay.
Let's find out.
I think I sing in the same tone that I talk in. To be honest with you, there's no modulation whatsoever.
In country music, or what's the
a little bit all over the I prefer some old country, but Ella will love the pop and the Adele. Adele's her favorite.
Oh, you're singing Adele to her.
Yes, a little. How about a little Pink? A little little Lady Gaga as well.
Sorry, what? Pink?
What?
Okay.
This is amazing.
Respect.
I used to sing when Adrienne and I were dating. I used to sing to her on the phone. We did long distance.
He'd sing me Michael Bublé.
There we go. And Colby Collet and Jason Mraz.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
I've been away.
Yeah.
Okay, now that nobody's listening, 100th episode, and we now have the same number of listeners that we have a number of episodes. That would be all right. So here's what we want to do today. We just kind of want to have a reflective time of what 100 episodes in. What are the ideas that are really sticking to you? What are you seeing and hearing from other people? What are the questions that are out there? I'm intrigued. Is there anything I keep on talking about that y'all are like, I don't understand why he cares about this so much because it's meant nothing to our marriage whatsoever. And then we can look a little bit forward to what lies ahead. So let's begin with this question. Blaine, we'll start with you to give Adrienne time to think through
the critic over
what
there.
her answer might be. If somebody were to say to you immediately, hey, Blaine, change the odds of the podcast, and they're about to compliment something that they learned from this, what is it that you tend to hear the most?
I tend to hear the idea that we're talking about like the fights, talking about common things that they're not necessarily readily talking about or willing to talk about, but we make it okay to talk about it. And therefore, when you talk about under the table to on top of the table, that sort of conversation, we've encouraged a lot of people to be able to address these things in a healthy way. My big takeaway, which we can talk about later, is this idea of secure attachment, which I talked a lot about. But it's really neat to see people in the eye and say, hey, our marriage is a little bit better today because we've learned how to talk about it. Thank you for making it okay to talk about it, which I think is really encouraging.
That, and haven't people told you, like, you're saying what I'm thinking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that was
yeah.
When I started, we thought about coming on this thing and helping out and all these things. My big goal was like, I want the guy who comes to church but doesn't resonate with too much of it to say, or the wife to say, hey, listen to this because there's someone that can resonate with you. And that's been cool to hear. Like, you're saying the questions that I'm thinking, and I don't know if I'm allowed to think about them or say them if it offends my wife and all these things. And so you're right. That's really cool.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
So Adrienne, what about for you? I mean, is it that or is it something else? What do you hear from women?
I think that it's relatable is one. And then I remember someone said they really liked the episode with Barb.
Oh, yeah.
That,
the one I wasn't on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but...
No question. Barb's great.
Yeah, and just like the sex topic, I think is something maybe couples don't talk about or they don't know, like, how much is good, and just to normalize that in your marriage.
Yeah. And Barb does such a good job of normalizing a healthy conversation around it.
Yeah. There's still a post. I mean, I saw this morning, people are still commenting on it, and the comments are crazy, by the way. But I mean, it's not our most viral clip at all, but it's one that's gone. It's 300,000, I think, is what it is. And it's Barbara talking about this idea of, all right, there's no set number of times per week, but generally speaking, once a week is the most beneficial. The return on investment beyond that isn't that great, but below that, it definitely is. And now to see all the comments back and forth, that's one of the things I find the most interesting. And I get comments are crazy and those kind of things. But I think one thing that intrigues me is on a post like this, the number of people that assume whatever their experience is everybody's experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was talking to some girlfriends who were like, just, girlfriends talk about what stuff like that. And for me to have a little bit of like knowledge and be like, hey, it's actually like, that's good, or that's encouraged this, or, felt like I could help even just my friends in talking about it and not being weird about it, or be like, no, this is something we should prioritize.
Yeah. Yeah. We're giving people confidence to address taboo issues, but they're not even that taboo.
No.
Like learn how to fight, learn that it's okay to give them space to figure their foundation out of the fight, but to come back and address it and then solve it. Like, it's basic, but yet it is very complicated, and it's caused many divorces.
We make it complicated.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Well, and it's one thing that I just keep on coming back to, and I try to help our speakers here at Bayside whenever they speak, even like gender stereotypes. There's a reason gender stereotypes are generally there. They're generally true. But sometimes one of our guys will say, well, women are just like this. I'm like, no, your wife is like that. That's not at all how it operates in my house. But our assumption is whatever our individual experience is, we just assume everybody else is experiencing that. And there's a power in that because there is some truth in that. There is a common humanity that's shared. But one of the things I just try to encourage people with is, man, you had a bad experience in marriage. That does not mean marriage is bad.
Right.
And it doesn't mean you're broken. And it doesn't mean there is an opportunity and possibility that's out there. But especially you go in and look at these comments, and it is the vitriol that's there. Well, women just withhold. And I'm like, I would withhold from you too. Like if that's the attitude that you're having. And then you have, well, just men, all they need is this. And I'm like, well, okay, there are some needs that are actually there. I was in a conversation the other day with somebody, and they had a little bit of a bent toward, I think, being unfair, generally speaking, to the shared humanity that we all experience. And they were talking about that men just need to be much more compassionate on women during their time of the month, which understandably so. Absolutely, that's the case, right? need to be very understanding. And they're talking, there's just things that we can't control. It's so difficult and that kind of thing. And I said, no, absolutely, that there's a biological response that goes on to that. I said, is it possible that same compassion needs to be understood when a man goes several days without sex?
Right.
That I'm not comparing the two. I'm not saying the two are the same by any means. Dangerous to do that.
I know that's a bit controversial, Kevin.
Very dangerous.
But the idea that there is a physiological response to this.
Yes.
And maybe, and men have to be very careful to not carry out their frustration on their wives and those kind of things. But maybe there is more of an angst that's going on there when they feel some disconnection of that kind of thing. And yet we can get so one-sided in that if we're not very careful.
But then again, like, this is another great point of what we valued from this podcast is we get free counseling, which is essentially what we're doing.
Which I'm not a counselor, so you're getting exactly what you pay for.
Which is
nothing yet, right? To be clear, we don't pay to be on this podcast, but we get to then normalize and talk about and suggest that that's a great point right there, right? It's just like we've come a long way in our journey of issues or tensions or frustrations that you could withhold and get bitter towards, or you could withhold and feel sorry for yourself for, or we simply say it how it is, we address it, we come back to it, and then the next time the month happens, it's better. It is better. And it's not great, it's better. And then it gets better, and then it gets better.
But I think just the understanding within that, right?
Yes.
And that's one thing, I'm going to teach premarital next weekend. Whenever we look at premarital class, a third of them are in their 20s, early 30s, first marriage. The 2/3 are then, in a variety of, might be second marriages, could be much older as well. But one of the things that there's just certain lessons you just have to learn.
Yeah.
Like you just have to get in. It's going to be messy and difficult. And some of those early fights are really where the skills are being built that you're going to carry through the rest of your marriage. And we can talk about them all day long, and hopefully we normalize them and help. But you just got to begin to figure it out. Oh, we just had that fight. Yeah. Okay, that didn't go well. Well, let's learn from it and what kind of what.
And
what
you do such a good job of teaching us how to like self-reflect individually first, right? That's I've grown so much in the last 7 years or 5 years. Therefore, I'm a better husband, better person into any relationship, right? So it's like the self-discovery. That's another thing that's really stuck with me.
Yeah. No, I think that's powerful. I was in Seattle last weekend. And one of the things I think is so cool about this is, so Friends, Partners, Lovers, the kind of the initial marriage book, right, came out almost 10 years ago. I wrote it 10 years ago, but we're coming up on the 10th anniversary of it. And so you think about all that's I've thought about, all I've read, all I've studied since then, all those kind of things, multiple books since then. And here I am in Seattle, still doing the same marriage conference I did basically 10 years ago. Wow. And just the simplicity of that model to get back into Genesis 2, friend, partner, and lover, friendship built on trust, partnership built on respect, and intimacy built on vulnerability, of how that just still so resonates with people. It's so easy to comprehend, difficult to kind of play out, easy to comprehend. By the way, something happened in Seattle has never happened to me in 30 years of speaking.
Go on.
I actually got rushed on stage.
Oh.
What do you mean?
So
what does that mean?
That means
somebody came at him?
Somebody almost attacked me.
What?
Yes. So I'm in, hey, sorry about this to our friends up there in Seattle. I won't name the church.
Wow.
But
that's scary.
I almost needed a new life to make this happen. Oh. So literally I'm speaking, I'm 33 minutes into this first session. Funny how I remember this specifically. So it's a 40-minute first session, then 40-minute second session with a break in between. So I have 7 minutes on the clock, and I just suddenly feel just this wave of energy and noise from behind me, and this guy who's strung out on drugs comes rushing out on the stage. My first kind of response is to think, is this a bit? Right. But literally, that's like the first millisecond.
Yeah.
And then immediately, my next thing was find his hands, because I for some reason I never thought gun, I thought knife. I literally thought, does he have a knife?
Wow.
And so I'm now in the defensive position, right? Clenched fist.
On stage.
On stage. Yes. 350 people in the room, kind of in shock. They don't know what's going on. So he comes out, hollow stage, so it's very loud.
Boom, boom,
boom. It has some levels, and so he hits the edge of a level so the wood kind of cracks and falls open, and there's a stool right behind me, and he grabs the stool, and I don't know if he swung it at me or just took it away violently. I'm not sure which one. But he took it, and then he runs off stage. So I'm just kind of shocked. And so I turn around, And the pastor's on the front row, great guy. And the pastor goes, "Hey, Kevin, that was not planned." And I'm like, "Really?" Because if it was, I'm really angry. Yeah. And so sure enough, they ended up arresting him in the parking lot. Apparently, he told the police he thought I was his dad. And which I'm like, "Were you going to hit me or hug me? Like, which one do you need in that moment?" So 30 years of speaking.
That is.
And
was your adrenaline just pumping after? Like, you can't really like focus.
It was going. I was amazed at how quickly I did turn it back around.
Oh, okay.
And it took me about a second. It took me about 60 seconds to get the room back on my side.
No kidding. Everyone's probably like,
so confused. Well, what about their kids and what about all these kind of things? So I spoke for another 6 minutes. We closed out that session, and then we came back, took a break, and then came back and did
That's wild.
But
you're okay.
But the idea that all these years later, what was I doing up in Seattle? It was friends, partners.
Right.
We can let's face it. I think in the end, if I spend the rest of my life writing on marriage, I think in the end, when somebody says, "Hey, what's marriage to you?" I think I'm going to say friend, partner, and lover.
That's it. And it's like, it's exciting when the couples that we meet, they're very, very, very good at one of the three. Let's say there's so much hope and excitement around that. Then they're more likely to work on the other two, right? Because there's like something there, like, oh, we're really good friends. Well, learn how to become partners, and we aren't great lovers. Well, learn how to work that through because you guys are such good friends, but don't just stick in that one spot.
And how so often we run to the weakness, but I think there's a power there.
I think so too.
What's your strength? Let's build on that.
Yeah.
What makes us such great friends? Okay, there is this tremendous trust. We figured that out. How can that ripple into these other areas of life instead of just, if somebody goes on Change the Odds and takes the Friends, Partners, Lovers assessment, and they see, oh, our lowest score is partnership, let's get to work on that. Not necessarily.
Right.
I mean, you can. But what are your strengths? How can we build on those in a way that's going to ripple over into the other areas?
We're best of friends, Adrienne and I. We are 10 out of 10, right?
Besties.
Lovers, 10 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
For you.
No, I agree, but I'm glad you think that too.
Okay, anyway, but partners, like the idea of like attacking a work project together, I'm so wildly different than where she is. If that was the partnership that we were talking about, and then the cool reality is we don't need to do that. We don't have to be those.
You don't think we're good partners?
We're great partners. You support. Nice, Kev.
Here we go.
You support this. I'm supporting.
Welcome
you.
to this episode of Fight Club.
I'm your biggest cheerleader.
Yes,
we're partners in life.
Yeah.
But if it was literal partners in business,
oh yeah, I'd quit.
I just asked her the other day, hey, if this and this happened, would you want to do this? Because you'd be good at that. No, I'm not interested. I wouldn't really want it. I'm like, okay, this is like here for you. And I'm thinking, I'm an eager beaver. Like, let's go.
He's like, this is so exciting. And you're like,
nah.
Gross.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was so mad.
I don't like to work hard. That's also a problem. I'm not a hard worker.
You're willing to work hard on things that make you passionate, that you're passionate about.
Yeah. It's just slim pickings in the passion.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing about the partnership is partnership can look different for different people.
Yeah.
And so it's not the idea. I think about our good friends, Joey and Christy Spears, right? And so great couple. We need to have them on. Another podcast within our network had them on to do a marriage thing, which, I mean, stay in your lane would be my recommendation to them. Are you doing this right? Not in that area, you're not. But what a great couple. And people look at them and go, oh, that's what partnership is. Well, that's what partnership is for them.
Right.
They run a business together. It feels like they're together just nonstop. And it's a beautiful thing. But for others, that's not the case at all.
Right.
Jenny's running her business. I'm doing my thing over here.
Right.
And partnership is not about we're doing the exact same thing in the exact same way. Instead, it is in the totality of life. We're covering our different areas in a very complementary kind of way. And then we're working together to where we're better together than what we would be apart. And y'all are clearly better together
we're 10
than
out of 10 there
what
too,
you would
but
be apart.
just so you know.
And so your partnership is strong. It just looks different than what that would necessarily
Yes.
look like for other people.
Yes. And I think that was my point, was like, it's not some cookie cutter, oh, I don't have that. It looks different for everybody. But there are things that we're super, super God-given good at that we should really try to embark on those kind of things, like friendships.
What's something? So y'all, I think y'all been on about half the episodes. I think y'all about 50, right? So it's y'all's 50th birthday.
You look great for 50, man.
You're empty nesting. So what's it doesn't have to be the most or the biggest or anything like that, but personally, what's one thing that's impacted you individually or y'all's relationship that you might have first kind of picked up here in the midst of our conversation? What's something that's made a difference in the Neufeld house?
I've been talking too much. You start.
I think this might be your answer, but the attachment styles really, I think, just help us gain understanding about ourselves and each other and how we respond to each other in like conflict or like, why are you freaking out about this? Or even parenting. We talk a lot about that with couples too, like the attachment styles.
Yeah. We definitely steal that and have helped a lot of people. I agree. The one I've taken, and it's just like, because you could share a bunch of stories, I'm sure, too, about that. I don't know if you want to do that now or do this first. The window of tolerance. Like this concept just blew me away. It put words to so many actions as I point to my spouse.
Even this morning, you were like, we can talk about how you had no window opening today. Yeah, that happens a lot, I guess.
Yeah. And, but it verbalizes all of these emotions inside. So suddenly, again, this is like so cool that we can normalize what normally is a 5-day fight into saying, oh, I see that her window is closed.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm not threatened. I'm actually excited because I know that her window's closed right now of this, and I'm going to wait until later. And then I said a couple things later on, and the window was cracked open.
Yeah.
And it only opened up the window more.
I love it.
It was awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Whereas in other scenarios, if you're not aware of that, it can be when the window's shut and you don't know there is a window, I'm going to force my way into that, which just creates more conflict.
First 3 years of our marriage.
Yeah.
And the anxious attachment from me pursuing to crack that window open
all the time.
Only to find that it was shut very firmly, only made it worse. I tried to break the window open at times. That made it worse. You know,
I love it.
It's such a great analogy.
I love how so that's Dan Siegel, right? Dan Siegel down at UCLA came up with the window of tolerance. So much of what we talk about here is him. We need to get him on the episode of the podcast. That would be brilliant. But that idea of to show how our relational dance is impacting each other. That's one thing I really love, and that's why I love the Fight Club episodes. Is to begin to show how, all right, I'm actually contributing to what this person is doing, and they're contributing to what I'm doing. And so often, this is from Love Styles. So often, the very outcome I'm trying to avoid, my actions are causing.
Yeah.
And the very outcome I want, my actions are preventing. And so how can I change that? That's what I think is such an awesome kind of moment for couples to begin to experience that. We're going to be this weekend. We're in Napa with 100 people, and it should be a tremendous amount of time. But I think so much of what we will do there is to help couples begin to see, hey, here you actually have more control in your relationship than you realize. There needs to be an empowerment there, because I think when marriage goes unhealthy, we tend to feel powerless. Because we don't see the dance, we don't see the dynamic of what's happening.
Right.
I think one thing that hopefully this podcast is helping people see is, oh, here's the role I play in that. So I now have power in what I actually do that can change the outcomes of what I'm experiencing. That's a pretty cool thing.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say also triangulation.
Oh, yeah.
We liked that
concept.
one. Because it happens so often and you don't realize it, but now you can see it once you know.
Yeah, so I just shot another episode on this without y'all. So we did an episode together in which I think it came up as a side note at the end of a Fight Club of, hey, here's what's happening. They're triangulating. And so if you go back and listen, I think it's episode 98. This is 100. So 2 episodes ago, it just came out as we're shooting this now, is I did a whole episode, like 28 minutes, to explain more in depth of what that looks like and how that kind of plays out. So I think that's a good thing. Is there anything we talk about here that you're like, he keeps on bringing that up all the time, and it's just, I don't get it, or it's not that important, or I don't see it. Does Kevin have a thing about this?
Do you feel like there is something that you're saying that we're not getting?
No, not necessarily. No, I just we all have our pet things that we keep on coming back to, and
no, it's just like thinking back through the season of learning. This is what we're doing here, and it's been incredible. Like, I think the Fight Club, we were allowed to use a lot of these things that we're learning and put them to practice. And so, it's been constantly rewarding for me to be here.
Me too. I can't think of anything other than like golf.
Oh,
There's a lot of
Coke
life
Zero.
in that. What?
What?
I don't understand. Why? What is it exactly?
There's a product placement.
To our friends at the Coca-Cola bottling company.
Cheers.
Episode 200.
We're there for
We
you.
got to have
We'll be
sponsorship,
thinking.
right?
Oh, this is it. This is supposed to be episode. You want the episode 200 to be brought to you by the Coca-Cola bottling company?
Yeah, we've done so much for them.
Just in what I've spent on them alone is useful enough.
You should buy their stock. I hope that you have their stock.
I don't.
No?
With Warren retiring, I'm out. So
Are you on a first name basis with Warren?
Oh yeah,
Buffett?
no, yeah. Which is ironic because he well, we shouldn't go there.
No.
But he was married and he had a side chick for
I did
like 60 years.
Shorty on the side.
Yeah. So if I don't even know what that means. So so
Do you listen to Pink and you don't know what that means?
Shaggy hasn't used that phrase yet. So, but yeah, if you read Warren's biography, it's very interesting. He had a very unconventional home life that was somewhat intriguing. So brilliant financially,
Right.
But I would not model.
Did
was
he
some
eat
triangulation?
only like one thing or something?
He would eat
McDonald's?
very regular. Yes, he was a McDonald's guy and a Coke guy, but would eat regular things. That way, you wouldn't have to make those choices.
Oh,
In other
okay.
words, I'm making enough decisions in life. Here's one area I don't have to make a decision
Yeah.
because I'm just eating the same
I
thing
thought I
every
heard
single
that.
day.
Oh, that's
about him or
fascinating.
Nick
something.
Saban's the same way. Nick Saban would eat an oatmeal cream pie for breakfast every morning.
And
And-
Steve Jobs, didn't he like one time
I
he
could
used to
see-
eat apples
Yeah, I
for
could see
like
that.
I don't
And
know,
Kevin Thompson.
And Kevin
I mean-
Thompson.
Oh, the only brilliant people.
You
in
think
the
about the
world.
great leaders in life: Warren Buffett, Nick Saban, Steve Jobs, and Kevin Thompson.
Yeah.
One of these that doesn't sound like the other. I don't think
Have you eaten anything recently that has really extended your palate?
that would be unique for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I feel like I have because Jenny and I. Oh, I mean, this is not unusual for me, but others would find it unusual. I was when I was in Seattle last weekend before nearly dying. I went and got
Drama there.
a big old bowl of clam chowder,
Clam
which would
chowder.
be very un-Kevin Thompson-like.
Yes,
but Jenny
that
has
is.
convinced me into that, and now I
And
love it.
You
You
love
love
it.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
do you not
Good
eat
for you.
seafood normally?
Well, I mean, before Jenny, I didn't, but now I do.
Yeah,
I've branched
yeah.
out.
Yeah,
I've branched
we
out
tease
in
you a
some way.
bit, but you're growing.
I
You're
am.
growing
I'm
as a
maturing.
person.
It's
Yeah.
not where I am; it's where I've come from.
That's right.
That's what the
very
key
good.
actually
Just like
is.
us. That's why
All
we're
right, so
changing
let's
lives.
give a little preview before we sign off here of,
Okay.
of what is to come. What are y'all excited about? So here's kind of the format that we have now. I feel like is we do some episodes together, Fight Club conversations like this. Y'all will be out interviewing important couples, intriguing couples. Find out what's the root of their marriage, where's their strength
Yeah.
of what's taking place. The episode right before this, which hasn't aired yet, as we're shooting this, was Jason and Stephanie Kane, and so
Yeah.
brilliant couple.
So good.
Right. And so y'all will be shooting those. And then I'll do these kind of one-off individual episodes, maybe a teaching time. The Creation of Us is coming out in a month. So my
Yeah.
book, The Creation of Us, so we'll be talking about that. What are some things y'all are excited about and hopeful over these next 100 episodes to birthday number 200 that y'all want to see within this podcast?
You're looking at me like I have the answer.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Go
so
for it,
that
then.
I'm quite excited about. We love interviewing couples. We think it's just so interesting. There's a world of people we want to meet and get to know, and I think it's also interesting when someone has a very prominent role, but we interview almost the spouse of
Yes,
that person
yes.
The
and
behind-
like
the
work
supporter.
through normalize that celebrity, let's say, but at the same time they have a marriage and it's a good marriage. Those are the ones that we would want on the podcast, not a broken Warren Buffett marriage.
There's a place
but-
for that.
Yeah.
One thing I would love for us to get to, I don't know if we'll be able to, but I just watched the Martin Short documentary. I don't know if you've seen it. It is brilliant.
No.
We love
It is
him.
We
brilliant.
love him.
And- And yeah, that too. Yeah, no, he is
You
Canadian.
should be more excited about that.
So his wife sadly died, and but they were talking about how they had the marriage that everybody looked to such an extent that one celebrity went to a marriage counselor, and the marriage counselor said, "Hey, what's a couple that you really respect?" And they said Martin Short and his wife.
No
And the
way.
marriage counselor says, "I can't tell you how many people have told me that."
No way.
And
What
so
a beautiful thing.
What
Yeah.
I would love to get to, if we can ever get to this point, is you take these people who are extremely successful in places where marriage normally isn't a strength,
Right.
and they have found a way
That's
to develop
right.
it.
That's it.
I'd love to have Tom Hanks on and his wife, Tom and Rita, because Hollywood rarely has a strong marriage, and here this marriage has lasted
Right.
for all these years.
And how?
How has that how has that happened?
And they're both actors, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah.
And how do you support each other?
Yes.
And especially if one person's like more elevated in Hollywood, and how do you not
I think
get
that would be so
jealous?
cool for the two of y'all to sit down.
We'd love that.
With them and just and look, there's going to be a million things that we disagree on. Who cares about those things?
Yeah.
This is a podcast about marriage and
Yes.
who values it.
Yes.
And how is it that you've made this work? I would love. I don't know if we can say this out loud. I'd love to have Barack and Michelle on. Of how have you had this
Kevin
marriage?
is dreaming big, and I am here for it.
How have you had this marriage in this political world where marriages don't make it very often?
But like, is there marriage
and
making it?
Yeah, no, it seems from
Okay,
all
great.
accounts,
Yeah.
unless you've been.
Yeah,
reading-
Well,
we're
there
trying to-
were rumors, so I don't
We're
know.
keeping up on the tea. We want,
But in other words, I don't care about political affiliation,
No.
all those kind of
No, no,
things.
no, no.
I
We care
want to
about
know
marriage.
where a man loves a woman and has done so for a long time. What's allowed that for you to work in your life? How do we make that happen?
Yeah, and then the Holy Spirit hits them, and
boom.
Absolutely.
we're
Game
all
over.
just partying.
45
in heaven.
minutes with the
I
two of
want.
you.
Are we
Life-changing.
throwing out wish lists here?
Okay, go ahead.
Because,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be Scotty Scheffler and his wife,
Oh, I love it.
but
Some golf pro.
golf, like the golf traveling world of a family.
Yeah.
There's so many. Tony Finau is documented about it many times, where it's like that would be interesting to me.
I would find that interesting too.
An occupation that is we are all
Yes.
in. Football players, they're all in.
like athletes.
But a true, athletes, I guess, in many ways.
Yeah.
But just to see marriage, because I know a lot of hockey guys that they've come and gone with spouses. I love the ones that like they respect their spouse and they acknowledge the fact of the sacrifice that they had.
Yes.
And I know so many of them also see it as this is my world. You're here to serve me, and that breaks down. Right?
How has LeBron and his wife made it
That's a great question.
in a field where that rarely happens?
But how do
Golf
we
world.
know that these marriages are making it? Like, we don't know behind
We
the
get
scenes.
them on the podcast, and
in
we
the
ask
same
them.
way that I don't know that y'all's is either, but
But there's fruit.
But a general
we
concept.
don't know them
Yes,
personally.
no,
So
well,
we have no idea what's behind the veil.
no, it's an absolute guess as far as that goes, no doubt.
And
But
I hope it is good.
But there is fruit, and there is this outward, and if nothing else, there is some test of look, like with LeBron. To my understanding, there's been no allegations of cheating or anything like
I
that.
don't know.
And here they've stayed married for all these years. So that alone, the fact that they've stayed married for all these years, and there haven't been any, as far as I know, credible stories about something going on the side. All right, that alone is strange.
It's big in that
in
world.
this world,
Yeah.
right? And so no, those are the kind of things I would love to see y'all engage in, and then beyond that, CEOs and just various various places.
I would love Nate Bargatze and his wife.
Okay.
Oh no, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leanne Morgan.
Because we don't
is
know
she married?
anything about her.
No.
Leanne.
No.
Oh, Leanne. Yeah, Leanne and Chuck. Absolutely.
Chuck.
Oh,
Well,
interview
yeah,
Chuck.
them too.
That's who you
but-
want to interview.
Yeah,
Let's
Chuck.
go.
Yeah, like we want okay, so what's it really like to be married to them?
Yes.
Because this is who we see.
Yeah.
Well, what are his flaws?
Well,
What are
because
her
what's
flaws?
fun is people. You don't probably know this, Kevin, but people would find you very interesting.
Why?
There would be people that see their pastors and say, "Wow, they must have it all together," or they're wow.
But what are the cracks?
And we get to see that there are some flaws in these marriages.
Some? Yeah.
We love,
but people really don't
but
know.
then
I
at the
agree.
same time, we love to normalize the fact that you're holding this weight of leading churches and pastoring people and all these things, but you can be vulnerable enough to say there's moments, that we have to work at this, but we're thankful that we're very good at this and this and this. We can normalize it to give the everyday person hope to say, oh, they're not perfect.
Oh, I told Jenny the other day that there's nothing that exists like this, but I wish it did. In that I wish there were a flag I could raise or a shirt I could wear that just says, hey, he's going through a season right now. He has nothing to give. And so we're just kind of hopefully coming out of that. Just a few weeks have been extremely difficult for some things that we're handling. We're great, but handling it together. And literally, I've had no space whatsoever. People have called, and I've had to say, hey, I can't. And so that is an interesting thing, that what goes on behind the scenes, even as we're standing on stage. And I think one thing that grieves me is, it kind of goes back to the critique of Happily one time. The book Happily, somebody wrote on there, hey, these are all great principles, but it would never work in a family that has a child with special needs.
That's
Well,
right.
yeah, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I have a child with Down syndrome. I
Right.
wrote the book.
Right.
Right. But their assumption is, oh, your life is this. It doesn't compare to my life. Not reckon, and I get that Jenny and I are so blessed, and there's a lot of things we don't face that other couples do. But there is a reality of life that we live on a daily basis, and these things that we're talking about is not theory. It's lived experience in what's taking place. You know? What were we about to say? Were you about to say something?
It was going to be good too.
I don't know.
No.
It left
All
me.
right. Well, we're going to wrap this up. So 35 minutes in.
Awesome.
100th episode. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for
giving us
I don't know if people know this, but the experts say it's Adrienne's job to humanize me.
Wow.
You're welcome.
I don't know what kind of job you're doing.
You're doing a great job.
Can it be a job if you
people,
don't get paid?
It could be a volunteer.
People still think I'm a robot, but
Not for long, Kevin.
less robotic.
Less
maybe,
robotic,
in
great.
some way.
It has been incredible.
Yeah,
too,
thank you
Kevin.
for letting us join you on
You're
this
a wealth
journey.
of wisdom.
So go make sure you like or subscribe, YouTube, obviously, and go into the comments and tell us what topic, or more importantly, what couple, what celebrity couple would you like to see on the Change the Other
And if you know
podcast?
them, invite them over.
And more
Yeah,
importantly,
hook us up.
if you know them, we can actually make this happen. Until next time, we'll see you.